Metal Gear RC here, coming at you from the Wrench and Nut RC Garage. Welcome back. Today we're going to be working on the Japanese vending machine. As you see, I have everything here still in the box. I haven't done anything to it yet, besides look over the things I want to do. And there are a couple things that we need to do before we assemble everything. One is to cut everything out. I'll be using these diagonal cutters. These are made for cutting plastic, and the way that they cut, it makes a nice, smooth, level cut to the surface that you're cutting to. So I'll be using these. The other things that I'll need for this project, I picked up this the other day. It's for two projects. Well, one for this one and another project I'll be working on later. It's a apple red gloss paint. It's made for plastics, as well as this metallic kind of chrome looking paint. There's some parts on there that I want to paint to give it more of the realistic metal look, like the where you insert the coins and stuff, as well as a black acrylic paint. There's a little spot on the front. It needs to be painted black, but it's really small, and this will definitely do the job. Just a simple acrylic paint pen with a fine. Let me see if I can get that into view. There we go. So that's all I will need for this project, besides the glue. And I usually use this glue, but it does tend to leave some marks. But the where I'll be gluing at, it will not be visible, so I'll be using this. I do want to get better glue for plastics, but as for now, that'll probably do. So let's get started. So as you see here, we have some clear parts. I am going to pretty much leave them in the bag for now. You got your bottles, and then you have your clear parts here, as well as you have some stickers that do come with it, and they already have it set up, marked with the yen rates. So I will leave these in the bag. Here we have the sides. I'm not sure which one's which, but this is either the top or the bottom. This here will be where I will be painting red, as well as the back and the front as well. So we have our front of our vending machine. And if you see real close, let's see if I can get it in the video, you see that they have like lines in here from when it was molded. You can probably see it right there where it was molded. So to get rid of that, you'll need to paint it. And that's why I picked the apple red, which is really close to it, and a gloss. So I have that nice metal paint look. So I'll be painting this part here, the back side of the vending machine. And I'll be probably painting this as well, black. As you see, that's the vent for the machine, to vent out the heat. Be painting that gray. I'm sorry. I'll be painting that black and spray painting this here red, as well as the sides. As you can see probably here, a lot clearer in there in the video. That's why you want to spray paint that. So this part here, this is your coin. We can get it. This is your coin insert. I'll be painting that as well as a couple other parts here. Gray. And here's some of your white pieces. So what I did here was I went ahead and just rough cut it, left a lot of the plastics left, so I can then come back and cut it real smooth and nicely there. Also, what I'm going to do here is they have little numbers here, especially in the instruction guide. They'll tell you what number to assemble it with what. So I'll take this number here, being that this is the side I'm going to paint. This is the inside. I'm going to go ahead and mark it because you're not going to see that. That's going to be in the inside. So I'll go ahead and mark it. I'm going to do that to all of them. So here, it didn't cut as flush as I want. So I have this flat jewel file. I'm going to go here and I'm just lightly smoothing it out until it's nice and flush and there's no residual of the molding support. As you can see, all I've been doing is lightly sanding it and just running my finger over until I'm not feeling it either with my finger or my fingernail. So it's nice and smooth. So I'll keep doing that. As you probably noticed, and I'm putting my finger on top of here, and so when I cut it, the piece I'm cutting doesn't become a projectile. And I can catch it and then place it down so I don't have to go searching for it later. So off camera I went ahead and finished cutting, sanding out, making sure. And then I kind of pre-fitted it. So it's going to work like this. Part goes here, part goes here. And these little tabs, okay, see, these little tabs right here. Let's see, boom, boom, boom. Okay, these little tabs right here are actually perfect to align, and you know you have them set correct. And that's where I'm going to place in the glue at, so it can join together. They have a 45-degree bevel in there, so it's going to fit together perfectly like that with a nice finish edge. So using the back here, face down, and I'm going to start assembling like this. So as you see, I added some tape to the sides to keep the edges nice and tight. And then I went back and added some more glue to the joints where they meet at. But I always like to glue it first before I paint it, as well as I can go ahead match it up, make sure everything looks good. If I don't like something, I can go ahead, trim it, fix it, and have it ready for painting. And next is to let the glue dry, and then off to painting it will go. So I did decide, after looking at the metal grate in the back there are small little indentions in there. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. You see this little small, so that is actually opened, and you would see the inside pump for the cooling system. So I've decided to go ahead and I'm going to use a gray, which is it's a darker gray um, paint pen. I'm going to paint inside all those little crevices to kind of give it the look that you're looking actually inside the machine itself instead of just all being all black. So I'm going to do that now before painting over it red. So I'll paint inside there. I'm going to use some masking tape, mask it over, paint it red, pull the masking tape off, and then paint this black. And then they have two little screws there that I'm going to then paint that the metallic paint, metallic gray, to give it the screw look. So now it has the look, a light gray. Well, it looks like gray, but slightly darker gray. And it looks like you're looking into the machine instead of just either a black or a red. Give it a little contrast there once I paint it black. And this will be a nice shiny apple red. All right, so now you can see how it looks a little more contrast with it. Yeah, I got a little couple black dots that dripped into it, but I think it adds to the illusion that you're looking inside of a machine versus just either black or red, all black, or a little red in the back. Or so now let this sit and dry. Being that this part is going to be sitting behind here, you don't have to make it perfect on your cuts, but at least close as possible. So using my fingernail or something flat edge, try to get as well as I can around the coin insert. And then I take an X-Acto knife. I'm going to just lightly, and now I'm going to test it, see if I did get a good cut on it. And there I go. I have a decent cut around. I can come around with the X-Acto knife, make sure it's nice and firmly stuck down. sure it has a good stick. I don't want no paint go up underneath there. Which, if it does, it's okay. As long as I catch it before it really dries. I can come in there with the X-Acto knife and scrape what really did get in there, and hopefully the scrape marks really doesn't show. So as you've seen, I went ahead, forced it in there. That definitely makes it tape go around the edges better. I don't want to be taping around. And I took the X-Acto knife and did a little more precision cutting on the edges there. We'll come back and finish painting that. Let the first layer set and dry. Come back with a couple layers after that dries. Being that this part here, number 16, is really small, and I want to paint that more of a gray color. It stands out. Says the coin refund switch here. I want to be more of a metal look. First layer. So as you see, I like to take my time with it. I like to dab it, make sure the paint gets in all the cracks and crevices. And then I come back and I brush over it. And I try to do it in multiple layers so I don't have brush strokes in there. Usually doing light layers like that, the brush strokes tend to go away after a couple layers. And with dabbing like that, you don't lose all your details. Because if you go in there kind of thick, you'll start losing all those little details. Those little indentation lines. You'll lose all that, and especially like the coin insert here. If you put too much in there, you won't get that detail of the coin slot. So I forgot I stopped the camera, but here's what I got so far. Went ahead, removed the tape and the coin refund lever here. I went ahead and installed it and glued it on the back. As you notice, I went ahead and scraped some of the paint away. Not really necessary, but I did have a little thick layer there, and I didn't want it to interfere with when I place it in the back here, it receding in there, and then the glue points where it stay at the right level. So that's what I got so far. I have to say, paint job was decent. I'm not the best at painting, but I think that will definitely pass for this project. So while off camera, I went ahead and prepped the back of the vending machine box. There was a corner that was slightly raised, so I took the jewel file here and I slightly got rid of that little lip, as you can probably see where I scuffed it up a little bit, but when I paint that, that'll definitely disappear. As well as the metal grate back here. I went ahead and I found some of my painter's tape. Went ahead and put some over it. I use my fingernail as well as this tweezers here. I pushed it down as best as I could. making an outline of it because it's slightly raised where the metal grate is. And once I pushed it down, it had a nice, decent outline. I took the X-Acto knife and just carefully cut the tape and then peel the rest off. The corners, I just try to push it in as best as I can. Push the little edges in, kind of like either with my fingernails or the X-Acto knife to give it a nice covering and make sure they're nice and tight and stuck well down, because when I spray it, all I have to do after finish spraying it, just remove that tape, and that will be good. This is one of the downsides to using this glue. It does have a vapor it gives off, and as you can see, it looks really bad in the camera, more than it does in person. And I try to clean it up as much as I can, as well as remove the numbers. I am planning on putting some lights on the inside to make it look more functional, that the buttons and different things. But that'll be later on down the road. But one of the reasons why I removed the numbers was just so if there's a little bleed through, you're not seeing a number on the outside, which I'm hoping there's no bleed through with light. As well as the front, I prepped that one too. This bottom area, kind of do the same thing with the tape. Place the tape on top, press it down in there as best as I can, and with an X-Acto knife, I went in there and just cut the painter's tape as skillfully as I could. Pressed it down and removed the rest. As you see, it's not perfect, but it's definitely going to do the job. Being the fact is, I'm trying to eliminate as much as excessive paint in this area, because there is a slight metal grate raise in the plastic. So if too much layer of paint, you'll start to lose that. So that's why I put the tape there. You might be able to see it on camera. But yeah, once I remove that, I'll show you that. But I put the painter's tape there. So I am going to be painting this part black. So that's why I did that. So now, get this painted. All right, we're back after painting the box and the front panel of the vending machine. It did take a lot longer for it to cure. It's very tacky, mainly due to the cold weather. I try to get the room as warm as possible so it dry, but it did take a little over a day for it to be nice and dry, which, it doesn't feel, it feels a slight tacky. Not enough to where I leave fingerprints or anything, but it's good enough to continue on with the build. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up this front part right here, the vent, front vent. I'm going to paint that black, as well as there's two screws or bolts on the back panel here. I'm going to give it a little light touch of this chrome paint for the screws there, and let's continue on. That's where the sign for the vending machine Anything I pick or choose to put in there, I could put in there. Just slides right into the back, the opening slot at the top. And there we have it, the finished product of the Japanese vending machine. I hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching.